Hi, my name is Raquel and thank you for watching. I want to thank all new and returning viewers. Today is Sunday, August 13th, and I'm coming to you from Porto, where I live. I don't really live in the center of Porto. I live close, like in one of the surrounding suburbs. But yeah, it's really warm today. It's been warm the whole week. They predicted quite high temperatures for this weekend, which is great because it's like a long weekend. Tuesday's a public holiday, so I've taken Monday off. On the other hand, not so great because there's a lot of forest fires again blazing throughout the country. Most of them have been lit with criminal intentions. Yeah, it's just not. You go outside and you smell smoke because there's a fire close by here. You can smell it in the air, and then you have nice blue skies, and then somewhere you see like this really big black cloud of smoke somewhere in the distance. Luckily, it's like, I mean, I'm saying it's close by, but it's probably about 20-30 kilometers away from here. But still, it's you know, you can see it in the skyline. You see the dark clouds, smoke clouds, which it's not a pretty sight really. And there's ash everywhere. You have that little really acrid smell of smoke. It's not the nice smoke, not the nice smell you usually have when you're burning, like when you have a wood stove or a fireplace or anything in the winter. It's really, yeah, it's not a nice smell. Anyway, let's get on to the knitting. I have a finished object to show you. I have a work in progress to show you. I have a swatch for the next work in progress to show you, and a little gift I got from a friend who went to the States and came back and brought me a little something, a little souvenir. So I'll start with the little souvenir, which is really thoughtful of her. It was absolutely not necessary, but thank you anyway. You know who you are. She had a layover in Amsterdam, going to the States, and so she took the opportunity to go to Stephen and Penelope's, and she brought me back a cute little stitch marker available at Stephen and Penelope's. Cute little bike, because if you know, the logo for Stephen and Penelope is a little bike. So, and I lived in Holland. For those who are new, I used to live in Holland. And I have a bike, which is still at my parents' place. I really need to get it over here so I can start using it. And yeah, I like bikes as well. So this is it's a stitch marker. So I'm gonna start using that in my projects. And then she also got me from the US, and I believe she bought this. Yeah, she bought this at a store where she was at with a friend, and it's knitted with gum balls. So that's what it is, and it's 100% superwash merino, and it's like a 45-yard skein. It's a great little mini, so it's pretty accurate, the color that you can see on the screen, or at least on my screen. So yeah, I'm really happy with this. This is most definitely going to go in my pinwheel blanket, and I should be able to get maybe 3 or 4, well, at least 3 definitely, little triangles out of it. So, finished object. If you were watching last week, you saw that I was working on the Imbue shawl pattern by Lisa Much. So I'm going to just move the camera a little bit. I was working on the Lisa Much from MBK Knitting, her shawl pattern Imbue, and I was using 2 yarns. I was using the Fiber Space Vivacious 4-ply in color 617 Verdigris, which is this color here. It's like a tonal. It's like there's like browns, blues, hints of greens in there as well. And my contrasting color was the Malabrigo sock in the lettuce colorway. So these are the two colorways I was using. And this is what I have left over after finishing the shawl. This is what I have left over of the second skein I had. So this is 20 grams and I have 53 grams here. Now the pattern, I enlarged the shawl a bit. I added to it. So let me show you. I finished this yesterday. I also decided to do a I-cord bind off because I think that gives a nicer look and is quite stretchy. I still have to block this. I almost blocked this yesterday, but I didn't know if it was going to be dry on time to show you, so I will most likely block this today. So here it is. And it starts at this end. It's basically all short rows. So it starts here at this end, and then you start creating the short rows with the contrasting color, and then the second block of contrasting color, and then the third block, and then basically here, this is where you're supposed to stop. You're supposed to do this a certain amount of rows in garter stitch, and that's where you're supposed to stop. I wanted to use more of the lettuce because I had only used 19 grams of the lettuce for all these short row wedges with the contrasting color, and I wanted to use a bit more, so I decided to add more striping at the bottom. And I didn't do short rows at the bottom, I just went all the way across all the stitches. I kept increasing stitches as in the beginning. So this is the other end, sorry. It's a long shawl. So this is, I did another, so I did another 5 of the verdigris color, and then I added 4 garter rows of, so I added 4 more rows of the lettuce before I did the I-cord bind off. And yesterday I met up with some friends close to one of their houses, and I was like, well, I don't know if I want to be working on the shawl because it's quite warm. I didn't know if we were going to be sitting inside or outside. We sat outside on the terrace of the cafe, a bakery cafe thing, which was really nice. We were in the shade. There was not really much of a breeze, but there was a bit of a breeze, and I decided to take I took the shawl with me, which is a good thing, but I did take with me a swatch to make for my upcoming project, not the one I'm making now, but the one I'm planning on making after. So I took the swatch with me just in case, because I didn't know how long we were going to be there, and I took my shawl, which, like I said, was a good thing because I finished the swatch. And then I picked up the shawl, and I had maybe, what did I do? I had up to the 3rd stripe here, the 3rd green stripe of the lettuce here. So I finished all that, and actually managed to start the I-cord bind off, but I didn't finish. I mean, I finished it yesterday, but I didn't finish at the mini knit group we were having. So, shawl's finished. Ends have all been woven in, although you can see them popping out here, like here. I just need to cut them, but I'll do that after I've blocked it properly. I'm almost tempted to not block it, because I really like it all fluffy like this, but the second skein of the verdigris, and I did not alternate skeins. I used the first skein until the end, and then I used the second skein. I basically started the second skein. And the second skein, which started about halfway through this stripe over here, had a lot more blue patches in it. As you can see, it's a bit hard to show. Let's see if I can show. You can see here, there's like more blue patches in it than the brown green patches. And I had blue hands from knitting this, so the only reason to block this basically is to take out any excess dye, and it's already covered in dog and cat hair. So that's what I'll probably be doing today. If I can get the, I have this plastic container thing that I use to soak my sorry, words are failing me today. Must be the heat. I have a plastic container that I use to soak my garments or shawls or finished items in. And lately Mr. Soot, which is the cat, likes to lie in it. Makes it his bed almost. I don't know if it's because it's warm for him and that the plastic is nice and cool. But I'm going to have to take it away from him. I need it to start blocking my stuff. So that's finished object. And it stayed in this bag until the very end, which is like my medium-sized bag, I suppose. It easily fits. I fit all 3 skeins, so I had 3 skeins, 3 100-gram skeins in there, and the shawl, so it all fit in there. So even though it's a medium-sized bag, it does fit a shawl project, and that shawl, as you saw, is quite large. So let's move on to whips. Put this one to the side. All 3 of them, so the 2 dogs and the cat, are all totally affected by the heat because not a single one of them wants to be on my lap at the moment. Which is a good thing. Usually when I start filming, Mr. Rusty comes up to me and wants to be on my lap or at least he has done so over the last couple of episodes. Anyway, I finished the shawl yesterday, and for a change I already knew exactly what I wanted to make straight after. I am making the Ravelry pullover by Isabel Kramer, and she calls for yarn that I actually have in stash, but it's 100% wool, and I wanted to make this sweater for like an intermediate kind of sweater, so I could use it in the winter, in the summer, on like the cooler nights, but also in the autumn and spring, and also in the winter if I put something else on underneath. So I am using the Ovelha Negra Olivia yarn, which is this one, and this is a 45% cotton, 55% merino, and it uses 3 colors. It uses 2 main, or yeah, you could call it 2 main colors for the top, one for the top, one for the bottom, and the top color then has a contrasting color that creates stripes, and you use that all the way down to the sleeves, and then the bottom, the main color for the bottom is just the rest of the body. So I'm using stash yarn. I am not buying yarn to make the sweater. I have plenty of leftovers in my stash, so I'm just gonna not do it exactly as in the pattern. I started the sweater. This is what I did this morning. It's on the small needle. I prefer knitting on smaller circular needles, even though, yeah, I don't need the large circumference of needles for a sweater. I prefer it on the smaller needles. I do use the larger ones for blankets and stuff like that because it just distributes the weight a bit. This way, I think the weight is distributed evenly enough. There's a lot of stitch markers on here, as you can see. These 2 on the side are the sleeves, these are the sleeves, and this is the beginning of round marker. So this is what I've done so far. It's the front, where you can see here, and this is the back. It has short row shaping so that the back is higher than the front. And I'm using, obviously, this color. I have a full skein of this for the for the top, and then I'm going to use the purple, which I still have left over from the other sweater I knit. This is going to be for the striping, and again I have another full skein of this if this isn't enough for the striping. It might not be. So these are the 2 colors at the top, and then for the bottom I don't have enough of one color to do the whole bottom section of the sweater, especially because I'm doing one size for the top and then widening it to the next size up for the bottom. My stitch count is not as what the pattern requires. I have slightly more stitches per 10 centimeters, so I've already gone up a size, a dress size for the sweater, but I want to make it slightly, still like not really figure hugging kind of thing. I want to make it slightly looser. So what I'm thinking is I'll make it one size for up to the sleeve separation of the sleeves, and then I'll see how it fits. And if I want it slightly larger, I'll just do a couple increases up to the next size and then knit down according to the next size up. So what I've decided is I'm going to be striping it in 3 shades of blue for as long as I have the yarn. And then because I have these two, this is all Olivia yarn, Avellanoida Olivia yarn. This is 38 Robin's Egg, this is 34 Tweed, and I have another little bit of this one, so I have enough for that. And then I'm going to add it with this one, and this is number 58, and I'm sorry I don't know the color name for this, I forgot to look it up. So these are going to be the body. I'm just going to stripe one stripe of each color along the body, and then I haven't read the pattern through to the end, but I'm pretty sure there's some ribbing at the bottom, and I'll just use this one for the ribbing at the bottom, because this is what I have. Like, I have a full skein of this, and by adding these 2 colors and striping it, I should have more than enough to finish in this color. So yeah, that's going to be my Ravello sweater by Isabel Kramer. Now, I didn't swatch for this one because I already have 2 sweaters in this yarn on these needles. So I just basically picked up my old sweater, picked up the sweater I knit last, which was the Hint of Summer, also by Isabel Kramer, in the shades of purple, which is right there behind me. I showed you last week the purple sweater. Another reason I didn't want to use this one too much in this sweater because I already had it in the other sweater. So what I decided is I want to do the Ravello sweater, but I want to do it twice. I also have a whole bunch of drops alpaca in one color that I bought to make a specific sweater by Kate Davis, but I'm not going to do that anymore. I need some other yarn for that sweater. So I decided to use the drops alpaca that I have in my stash for the Ravello sweater, and that way it'll be a more winter one. That one I might, depending on the amount of, I don't think I have enough yarn to make the really long sleeves, but that's okay because it's alpaca. I don't get cold that easily, so I need to knit it at a larger gauge than the pattern calls for, so that it's like more airier, that the fabric is airier. And then I just decided to use the sweater construction of the Ravello as the basis, and then add a lace pattern that I've been meaning to add to a sweater, but I haven't found the right sweater. So this is the swatch that I knit yesterday at the impromptu knit group, shall we say. I have to block it still. I'm not going to block it too aggressively because I don't generally block my sweaters. I just wash them and lay them out to dry. So this is also the color I'll be using. This is the 9020. It's a light gray. Sorry about the shadow at the bottom. So yeah, and this is the, I did the smart thing. I swatched in the lace and I swatched in just plain stockinette. But in principle, the sweater is going to have this overall lace pattern all the way around, except for on the sleeves. So, like I said, I still have to block this. And because I have knit this into a sweater before, I already had an idea of stitch count. I'll show you the other swatch that I have here. And this is a rather large swatch I made, because this was for another sweater I knit, and I needed to get the gauge to be able to knit it. So I started with the 375, which was the I can't remember. I know that I did this on 3 different needle sizes. This is 375, this is 3.5, and this is 325. So as you can see, the 325 is quite tight. The 375, 3.5, the gauge is a bit looser, and then the 375 is quite loose. It still wasn't loose enough In terms of stitch count, it was actually pretty much spot on with what the Ravelry sweater calls for. But I wanted it even airier, especially if I'm going to be doing a lace. I wanted it to be slightly airier than what this is. So, I have, you can't see it. It's too dark. Yeah. And I have it pinned to the together with the label for the yarn. So I have it all pinned together so I know what it is and I don't lose it. Let's do that real quick. Pin it to my yarn again, or to my swatch. And this has been blocked, by the way. So this one has been blocked already, and I'm just going to go back into my cupboard along with the yarn, and then this one I'm going to block now. So, and then I just have to do the calculations. So after I finish this Ravelry sweater, I'm going to be casting on a second Ravelry sweater, and that's pretty much it that I have for you guys. We're halfway through August. I'm just going to give you the heads up that I will be hosting the sock cal again in October, so start getting ready for that. I have a couple. I think I have a couple of prizes for you guys. I have a couple of skeins in my stash that I bought specifically with the sock cal in mind. So yeah, that's going to be for October. I've joined a couple of cals from other podcasters. This one's going to be for the garment cal by Joanna from Stitching the High Notes. Yeah, there's a couple other cals that I thought I was going to join, but I don't know if I have time for that. So I still want to focus on my goal. So my goal is to finish the sweater by the end of the month, and then then focus on my pinwheel blankets, because I want to add a couple more rows. I want to have the pinwheel blanket finished by the end of the year, and then in September I'll start the other one with the drops alpaca yarn, and I don't know what else I'm going to do during the rest of the month. I have a couple of other projects I want to knit that I've already printed the pattern for. I just need to find the yarn in my stash. I've already got a couple ideas of what I want to knit, and again focus on the pinwheel blanket. I might also pick up the Persian Dream blanket, because I only have the one hexagon, and what I might do, instead of turning it into a blanket, I might just make another hexagon, maybe the same one or just a different design, and turn it into pillows. I have these, like, there, this one and this one, this pillow. They're quite huge pillows, and I need to wash those covers. So I'm thinking maybe I'll create some knitted covers for those, and then I can change them, alternate them, you know, when it needs to be done. And I think I will wash those two hexagons in the washing machine, like on a appropriate cycle, and maybe felt them a bit more so it can't eat at the fibers of the wool, because that's like pure sheep wool. It's like local, it's Portuguese sheep wool, and I don't particularly find it very rough or rustic, as you might call it. I don't think it itches that much. I've made a jacket out of it and I wear it. It's not a problem. But other people might find it a bit rough. It's not a merino, you know. It's not very soft. So I think it's great for outerwear and for blankets and pillowcases like that. So yeah, I might do that. And call that just finished project kind of thing, and just make a blanket, a different type of blanket with the rest of the yarn I bought, and do the maybe next year pick up the Persian Dreams again, and do it in a more, either in the sport weight or in the fingering weight, bit thinner yarn, because the yarn I'm using is like a chunky yarn, and it's quite heavy, and I had planned on knitting on it throughout the year, but when it started getting really warm here in Portugal, I'm not able to pick it up. It's my hands get all sweaty, and I don't like that feeling when I'm knitting. I can knit this yarn fine. I can knit the RGO and the fiber space, even though it's 100% merino. I can knit that fine. Because I suppose it's because it's thinner yarn. I don't know. So yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get a lot more done on the sweater today. I'm gonna see if I can get up to the separation of the sleeves. I hope. Also have 2 dogs to walk again, and I suppose I should prepare some meals for the rest of the week, but it's going to be a short week, and I have tomorrow off, and I have Tuesday off, so I have more time to cook. I don't really have a lot of time during the week when I get home to cook, so I like to prepare my meals on the Sunday for the rest of the week. That way I can just heat it up if I can heat up. I don't prepare the whole meal. For instance, I might make like a whole package of pasta, and then separate that into the meal plans, and then add like vegetables or add some chicken or whatever, do that. So also have a lot of tomatoes and some onions left over from making the tomato sauce I made last week, so I might do that tomorrow, make another batch of tomato sauce, because that turned out really good. I did forget to flavor it at the time, but I added flavoring in afterwards, so like, a bit of salt, a bit of pepper, and some oreganos and stuff. But I'll remember to do that while I'm cooking it this time. It makes it a bit more flavorful. So yeah. So I just basically make a meal plan for the week and prepare as much as possible on the Sunday. That way, during the week, I have very little preparation to do to complete the meal, and that gives me more time to spend with the dogs and the cat, and also gives me a little bit more knitting time. So yeah, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna edit this immediately. Last week I filmed it, and then I only edited it like at night, and this way if there's any little things I want to redo, I can quickly redo them. So I'm gonna go. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, or whenever it is you're watching this, and I'll see you next time. And we'll see how far I've gotten with my sweater and what I'm knitting on at the time. So bye.